Time now once again to check in with Channel 3's Roger Susanin, who is darting across Connecticut.
All right, this morning, Roger and WTIC 1080 radio host Brian Shackman are at Heirloom Market in Wethersfield.
Hey, good morning, Roger.
Good morning. You know, I'm learning so much here in Wethersfield from Brian that I actually kind of feel a bit like an intellectual.
For once, is that right?
For once in my life, I feel an intellectual wearing makeup. We're about to talk with Amy Wethersfield from the Wethersfield Historical Society. What big question do you want to ask her?
Well, we were such glomming onto that George Washington was here to play in Yorktown, but also Wethersfield had a pretty big role in other elements of the Revolution, too. That's kind of what I'm curious about.
All right, you get back to work at WTIC 1080. All right, you guys follow me. I'm going to go talk with Amy here. I've got my marching orders. By the way, isn't this a beautiful space here at Heirloom Market at Comstock Fair? Amy, thank you so much for joining us. You brought some incredible props. Do you surprise people when you tell them? I know people know Wethersfield has a fantastic history, but when you really dig into the details, are people amazed?
I think so. There's so much history here. We've got, you know, almost 400 years of history. So, and there's so many people and so many things that happened here.
And we're going to talk about this specific space in a moment, but also Brian was mentioning the fact that during the Revolutionary War, Wethersfield played a pretty pivotal role.
It did. Well, Connecticut was the supply state, and Wethersfield was right up there and, you know, very supportive of the Continental Army. The first cavalry company in the United States was formed right here in Wethersfield in 1776.
Incredible. And we mentioned this really cool space, Heirloom Market at Comstock Fair. We have a picture of it from way back in the 19th century. And we also have some seeds, some red onion seeds, which are also pivotal to why this became the oldest seed market in the United States, right?
Yes, it is.
So how did that all transpire?
Well, back in the 18th century, red onions were the cash crop for Wethersfield, along with horses and grain. Onions, it does have a bit of a problematic history because they were sold to the very troublesome sugar plantations in the West Indies. So that's a hard truth that we have to face. But onions were the cash crop. In the early 19th century, there was a blight, and the onion crops failed. So they had to come up with some other way to make a living, and the Belden family started the seed gardens, Wethersfield Seed Gardens.
And here we are today. And what's so incredible, we also have a map from 1640, a reproduction obviously, but it is so incredible. Come on out here and visit the Wethersfield Historical Society, and Amy will be happy to walk you through some of this town's just unbelievable history. Thank you so much for joining us this morning as we dart across Connecticut.
A great pleasure.
Amy Wethersfield, thank you so much for the Wethersfield Historical Society. We'll send it back to you guys, but we're having a fantastic time as we continue darting across Connecticut. A little bit later this hour, by the way, we're going to tell you about a very special event that only happens right here in Wethersfield. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Roger.